I wasn't expecting company. I was sitting here in my PJs. Just to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Faith. I'm the soaper behind Faith and Lily Vegan Beauty, and I'm also the Chaotic Soaper. So I just wanted to welcome you to the channel where we're going to celebrate choosing creativity over perfection and enjoying the process. So these videos will be about my messy house and life, the soaps that I'm making, trying new things, and basically anything I want. And I'm starting it for fun, and I hope some of you will find it fun too. So yeah, welcome to my first video. So I did it again. I went and signed up for the April Soap Club. So I did it again. I went and signed up for April's Soap Club Challenge. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hey, it's your favorite chaotic soaper here, back again, trying the soap challenge. This month's challenge is Sculpted Layers, and in the experienced category, we're charged with doing a minimum of 6 layers that we use a scraping tool for all of them. No other type of inclusion can go into the soap that we're making for the challenge, which means no embeds, no confetti, no nothing, just mica lines if we want, and scraping. So 6 layers of scraping, and we're also tasked with this month representing some sort of national monument or well-known location from our country or another. Sorry, I paused my dishwasher so I could talk and it's beeping. Anyhow, so I'm Canadian, and I was looking at some lovely pictures of Canadian monuments, and I'll stick one in so you can see. Not a man-made place for sure. I went to nature for inspiration, and it's a place on my bucket list that I've actually never been, Moraine Lake in Banff in Alberta. So I did have some places in Newfoundland that I really loved, and I was looking at some different pictures because I'm from there. But Moraine Lake lent itself well to this challenge, I think. So what I actually have done is I've designed a little representation of a picture that I used for inspiration, and let's have a look. Okay.
What's going on? What's going on this morning?
So since we're using sculpted layers of soap, I couldn't do an exact copy of a photograph. I was restricted to what I could do with what I have available, what'll fit in the layers of soap, and my skill level, which I'm going to be honest, again this month we're doing something I've never done before, so my skill level is 0. And I really should be in the beginner category, but I've made lots of soap. I've been doing it for nearly 2 years now, and so I'm in the experienced category. So what I have is this soap scraper that I bought from, or I think it's called a soap shaper, that I bought from Love Your Suds. It's designed to fit this mold that I also have, which is I think a 5-pound brambleberry loaf mold. And so what I did was, using this as the inspiration, I wanted to draw the lake. So I was looking at pictures where the lake had sort of trees in the foreground and then the lake, and then of course because it's Banff, it had mountains. And it had more mountains over here, but I wanted to use my tree soap scraper again because I have trees at the bottom and trees at the top. So I was like, okay, I have this really good scraper that won't be a crappy homemade job that might not work very well. I should use it all I can. So I'm using it twice to put trees. So you can see my bottom layer here, gonna hopefully be gray or some sort of brown or taupe. That represents sort of the rocks that were in the foreground of the picture. Then we have the trees. I wanted to do a darker color, and then I realized that the lighter color was better with more contrast. I may do, this was representing maybe having a swirl of light and dark, which would be really cool, but I don't know if I'll have time or if the soap will lend itself to that sort of a swirl and then be poured. It needs to be a chunky soap to be able to be scraped, so I'm doubting this, and my fail-safe is just to do this lighter color here, like I showed again here, just the lighter green. So yeah, then this layer here is the lake, the mountains, and I decided as I was doing this that the mountains actually, I could use the same little soap scraper that I made out of a Domino's pizza box. This is a Canadian project under the Domino's pizza box lent itself really or what's going to happen next. I will show you what I intend to have happen in my, as I do it. I'll show you these. So these are the ones I made with my pizza box. I made layers 4 and 5. There's a little key to what's going on over here. I did it with the layers labeled. There you go. So layer 1 is rocks. I did make a scraper just to scrape that little sort of sideways rocks, and this will go right down to the bottom of my, sorry about that again, it'll go right down to the bottom of my mold and just be scraping that little shape, that little bit of shape there at the bottom, which will be left. So a very small amount of gray, and I'm hoping this doesn't buckle too much. So this is the sort of challenges we're going to have with this. So it's going to be a delicate operation. The Domino's pizza box already wants to bend there. Then layer 2 is going to be the soap mold again, and down right to the bottom and in this way. Layer 3 is going to be, so layer 2 is these trees. Layer 3 is going to be blue. I'm going to do the lake, and I'm going to scrape it with this, and this popsicle stick is to put it at the level that I want, so that's how deep that'll be, and I'll scrape it all the way along the mold a few times and make the lake shape. Then the next layer will be the first layer of mountains, so the dark purple mountains, and I'm going to use it like this. And then when I do the lighter little sort of outline, I'm going to put this down, so it's going to go from sitting that deep to sitting like that. So this is the task I've set myself. I do not know how messy this is going to get, how my soap batter is going to turn out, how long it'll take to scrape between layers, or what's going to happen next. Okay, hi, welcome to my slideshow. So this first picture here, you'll see that I laid out everything as if I was going to mix all of my oils with my hot lye water, my butters with my hot lye water and melt them and then add the oil and do it that way, the room temperature soaping method. I quickly realized that wasn't going to work for this because you have to mix tiny amounts of soap at a time, not one big hot steaming batch that you have to pour now. So I covered everything up with saran wrap and decided to think about it for the night. So this next picture, you can see what I did was I also covered up the colors that I showed myself mixing and the scent, and I think it lent itself really well to this project. Okay, so I poured this next layer, which was the trees, and actually it's not the first layer I poured, it was the second. It came out really nicely though, and so I stopped and took a photo. So this is after multiple scrapes with the tool and dumping the excess into my overflow 10-inch mold, which I will show you later, which just turned out to be a fun little soap in its own right. The next picture is just the same thing. I'm just looking now at the lake, and the lake turned out really nice. I'm happy with this one. And then you can see the overflow mold, and I took a couple of pictures of this as I added layers, sort of mushed it around and tried some different things. And now the top of the overflow mold and the top of the good one with the sky poured and just a little tiny bit of texturing. Next slide is my big mess, because you can't say you're a for real soaper unless you make a for real big mess. Every soaper knows this image. So this is interesting. This is how my soap turned out. I'm going to stop for a moment here and just show you. The one on the bottom left is the soap. So I had a little trouble in layers, I would say 4 and 5, which were the mountains, the dark purple, and then the lighter color, which was like a glow around the mountains. I poured them okay. With the scraping, I noticed that I had very little clearance to the top of my mold left now, and I still had, of course, 2 layers of soap to pour in. So then when I was pouring in my tree layer after that, and I had a bit of trouble with leveling my scraper, everything was very wet with soap by then. I couldn't stick anything to it, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so what happened was when I scraped my trees, I scraped into my mountains, and I knew right away I had done it, of course, because you could see the 3 different colors coming off there. You could see that it wasn't a clean layer, and I wondered if it would look terrible or if it would look cool, and didn't think there was a lot I could do to fix it anyhow. So that's how it came out. Some people said that they like this bottom right hand side image. It's pastel-y and it's abstract and kind of cool. I can see it with those eyes, and I can also see it with the eyes of a person who had a very nice picture in mind of how they wanted this to go, and it's not like that. So then I experimented with some mica mixed with witch hazel and just painted on the soaps. So now I don't have something I can enter in the soap challenge competitive category, but I'll have some cool hand painted soaps, at least, that I can hopefully sell. So I went through several iterations of what the hand-painted soap should look like. You can see some of them here. And I finally settled on this one when I realized that it wasn't about the mountains or fixing the mountains. It was more about the trees and just adding some definition to the trees and depth of color, and then covering up some of the bloopy bits and just leaving the mountains more natural looking soap. So I'm happy with this, and I'm going to be entering it in the bonus category, which isn't voted on or judged. It's just for fun category in the Soap Challenge Club. I got so excited about this then that I did go ahead and make my labels using my image that I'd drawn as the background for the labels, and I thought that was kind of cool, and it was a fun little experiment. I did make a typo, and I printed it on all the labels. Because we're an environmentally friendly company, I won't be printing the labels again. I won't be using more paper or more ink. These are the labels. They're a collector's item. They have a typo, and that is unusual for me, but that's the way they are, and that's the way they're going out. So you can look for these at our markets if you live in the local Ottawa area, or you can shop Faith and Lily online. I will include in the video description links to Faith and Lily our website. I'll also include the Soap Challenge Club, Love Your Suds, where I got my soap shaper or soap scraping tool that you saw there, the trees, and Mad Micah's, who provides my colorants. So my soap, you can see all the layers. The first layer there, this one has a hole in it. I don't like looking at that one.